because we are so into astrology, how do you feel like things have changed in that area, or did you have any struggles with it based on, you know, our upbringing and being taught one thing but being on the other side of it current day?
So it was so strange for me because even though I grew up super Christian, my dad told, as far back as I can remember, my dad told me, you a Leo. Like, that's one of the first things I remember him telling me. Also, y'all, please don't judge me. I'm 30 years old, but I've been watching a lot of cartoons lately. I didn't know that. I watch Dexter's Lab, I watch Ed, Edd n Eddy, and Zodiac and astrology is all throughout these episodes. The very first one I watched, Dee Dee was telling Dexter that his moon, his sun sign is in Capricorn and hers is in Cancer. Blew my mind. Okay,
oh my God.
God talking to me. Okay, because what the first episode. So I said all that to say, for me, because so in church they tell you have a prophetic gift. Current day, I was really drawn to tarot. I was drawn to astrology. I was drawn to those things. And for me, I was like, well, no, my whole life I was told that was demonic. So I was very hesitant. But once I like kind of what was naturally happening occur, I saw even the correlation with astrology and Christianity, even the links there and how energy. I'm not going to get into it because again, we're not trying to teach anybody anything. I think to answer the question, I'll say I have learned to let astrology be what it is for me and let my beliefs from my Christianity be for me, because like you said, like for instance, I still go to church. I go to church maybe like once every 3 months because I love worship as well. Yeah. But I've learned I get more of an in-tune connection with my worship when I listen to the same songs on my Tidal app through my Bluetooth speaker in my room on my floor going in versus when I go in the building. I love the community of it all, but it don't, like Brittany said, I don't have to be in that building to get that same reaction. I actually get a more intense version at home because it's just one-on-one, me and God in my face. So I'll say that I have let go of the fear of what I was taught, and I actually researched on my own, and it flows fluidly together. Like we're one. I'm not gonna say we're one last, because I don't even label myself no more. I don't even like to say I'm a Christian or I'm an astrologist or this.
Me too. I'm so hesitant to say that now. I don't like how you identify it. I'll be like,
I just believe in my higher power, basically, and I let that work for me the way that it does. But I think now,
so for me, kind of similar. Like, my dad would talk about him, you know, he would say Virgo. He was a Virgo. He has the same birthday as Beyonce.
Okay.
So, you know, I heard that growing up. I would hear stuff in school, you know, people knew their zodiac signs when we were growing up. I will say that I was always into astrology, but it wasn't really until like we linked up that I really got into it.
Yeah.
But I feel like, and as Shawana has stated, this is not a educational episode. I think people don't understand the science of astrology. And what I mean by science is kind of how the planet shifting, how Earth sits, how the sun sits, how the moon sits, how any of that actually affects us. It's almost the same way gravity affects us and the same way the seasons change. That is the same exact way that astrology affects us. That part is not talked about though. And I'll also say, I think the older I got, of course, me questioning stuff now, I never understood the demonic side, because I'm like, but where are the demons coming from?
I never even questioned it.
Oh, it's not funny, but like, I really be like, but where are the demons coming from? Like, that part I don't get. Like, I'm just like, I don't understand that. Like, it's demonic, but
explain to me
explain the demon part. And then I don't understand like there's like people saying, you know, you're worshiping a false idol, and I'm like, where's the worship coming in at?
That's what I don't get.
So I think there has been a lot of me just kind of questioning things I heard when I was growing up, and I'm like, okay, I hear the sentence, but there are pieces missing, because you're saying that I'm doing these things, and essentially I'm really, really not.
Like at all.
Like, I'm so confused. And then I just even think on the side of having spiritual gifts, mm-hmm. and me being able to be linked up with somebody who I consider my mentor, her having a spiritual gift, and me kind of seeing how things play out outside of just you having to be in church and God giving you a message.
Right.
And I think seeing the impact of learning you have a spiritual gift and trying to navigate that. So just like you said, when you receive messages, you don't really know all the time who they're about, when they're gonna happen. Because I've definitely had, you know, dreams and things about people, and stuff has come true plenty of times. I just didn't know when they were going to happen, or if they were going to happen. I know this is just a dream, or, you know, God was trying to tell me something. But I think you make a good point when you bring in tarot, or even just knowing it's a full moon coming. Because me working in mental health, people joke about that all the time. Like, they'd be like, oh, it's a full moon coming. It's, you know, stuff about to be jumping. There's a reason for that.
Hell, not even mental health. That's a thing. It's a full moon. People about to act crazy.
And like they say it on TV shows all the time. So I'm like, that, like, no, that's very real. Like, going back to gravity, like, that is very real.
If you still buy calendars or planners, the moon phases are on every one of them.
Like, it is a reason for that. It is a reason why people study how the earth shifts, how it turns, how seasons are affected by it. Like, all of this stuff is literally science. Mm-hmm. So I think that I have just had to learn, you know, kind of similar to what you said. You know, this is over here, this is over here. I know for me personally how they mesh, mm-hmm. or how they come together. But I've never been in a situation where I felt like I had to discredit God.
Right.
Because I was like, oh, let me see what my horoscope says. Like, you know, I never felt like, you know, God wasn't in control of my life anymore because my horoscope said you're going to come up on some money tomorrow. Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like people make stuff like more than what it is. Like, now granted, I feel like there are people who dive too deep or get like lost in it, and they're just like, I don't know, they just overconsume. Me personally, I just feel like, you know, I know who God is. I know what he means to me. I know what he's done in my life. If push come to shove, I'm not worshiping my zodiac sign. Like, I know at the end of the day, all things come from God, and God is everything. So I just feel like people put a label on what they don't understand. But
and pick and choose what they want to hear too, because with astrology, they'll tell you it's not going to resonate for everybody. This isn't a one, like, literally, if this don't sound right to you, it's probably not supposed to resonate with you. And people be trying to make it work, and then they get mad because it don't work. But then, well, for you,
I'm about to say something that's going to offend somebody, and I don't really care. You don't say that when your pastor's sermon don't resonate.
Okay? Because it don't all the time.
There have been plenty of times I have sat in a congregation and been like, yep, he lost me.
Yeah. Or, what are you even talking about? Or saying false stuff that ain't true. Throwing their little stuff in there that ain't. I'm done. Girl, you about to go ahead. I'm sorry, Brittany.
Yeah. That. Throwing their personal stuff inside of what you are supposed to be teaching or bringing these people to God, you know, ultimately deterring their walk, you know, with God. But that's another story. Okay. So I feel like, just like, and y'all, especially millennials, y'all know what I'm talking about. You probably could be 2 minutes into the sermon and you like, yep, nah, this one ain't for me.
I'm gonna get on my phone.
Yeah, this one, this one ain't for me. I feel like it's literally the same thing. Like, anytime I see, you know, certain stuff about zodiac signs or whatever like that, either it's true or I don't, you know, I'm not upset or bothered. Like, it is what it is. So yeah, I definitely feel like they pick and choose, because they never say that about sermons or pastors. Like, they do the same thing.
Yeah, I agree. So, to kind of reel it in, I wanted to ask you, what are, and this is personally speaking from us, what are the benefits of spirituality in your life? Like, what does it do for you? How do you feel when you're, I don't want to say, I hate saying like practicing spirituality, because I really feel like it's just something that you are.
Yeah.
I don't feel like there's nothing you really try to do. These are the things that just, you know, that's your personal lifestyle. But what does being a spiritual person do for you? How does it affect you in your life? And, you know, not do you recommend it, but, you know, just how is it for your life? How is it beneficial?
I think for me personally, I don't really know where I would be without spirituality or faith, essentially. I am one of those people who, like, I don't know, the meme says something like, you know, some of us believe in God not because we were taught, but because we've experienced God.
There you go.
And that's how I feel. You know, I don't know what happens. None of us know what happens to us when we die. People have their beliefs about that. You know, some people believe in reincarnation. Some people feel like, you know, our spirit just transcends. Some people feel like, you know, people go to heaven and hell. Regardless of that, I just feel like God has been very real in my life. I feel like, you know, I credit God for everything. Just like yesterday, was I rushing back? Or was it the day before yesterday? No, it was the day before yesterday. No, it was yesterday when I was coming from the doctor. I almost ran into the back of somebody. And every time something like that happens, I just be like, whoo.
Thank you, God.
I'm like, thank you, God. Like, it's a no-brainer for me to credit God for certain things, because, like, while I know essentially my day-to-day, I'm in control of myself.
Yeah. But
I do know it's just certain stuff outside of me that I can't control, and there have been times where I could have been harmed. Things could have went left, and they just didn't, and you just can't tell me that that's not God.
Yeah.
Times where I've been in car accidents that, you know, on the outside you kind of like, what in the world, and I was okay. Like, stuff like that is God. Or my dark moments where I just kind of felt like, I don't want to be here, I don't want to do this. Like, God essentially, you know, got me out of those moments. So I just feel like regardless of church or not, I just feel like if your faith is there and you believe in God, I don't need to be in front of a pastor every Sunday, or I don't need to be inside of a church to upkeep my faith or my belief system. That's just from my personal experiences that have kept me here. It's not because, you know, I had somebody drilling stuff into my head. I essentially, as an adult, experienced God even as a child, but more so as an adult, just my experiences have kept me like, you know what? This is something way, way, way beyond your power, anything you could imagine. You know, this being presence has kept you, has protected you. So for me, it's just, you know, God has been everything for just my life, period. I mean, I can go on and on about things that I've experienced that I know has been nothing but God. So yeah, I just feel like anything that people have tried to tell me or say that's demonic or anything like that, you know, I still believe in God. I still know that God is all-knowing and he's all-powerful. So I just feel like that's, you know, I just feel like that's just a cop-out for people who don't want to believe in other facets of things.
Or come outside their comfort zone, because it's what they were always taught. That's a lot, and I get it. It's a lot to literally try to view something that you've been told is one way your whole life. I get it, but y'all, there's a scripture in the Bible that says the truth. You know, my people perish for a lack of knowledge, and you know, it's up to you to find truth on your own. And I just feel encouraged to tell people, don't like, you don't have to. Truth is not going to be the same for everybody as far as what it looks like.
Yes.
Like, don't go look. If you're somebody who's on a spiritual path or journey, I would recommend not going to look for it to look a certain way. Just literally say, like, I open myself to what, the truth from my life, and let it roll that way.
Right.
But to answer the same question that I asked Brittany, I would have to say the same. It's just those instances that can't be explained. It's the stuff that you ain't never talked to with nobody, and God will send somebody you don't know to right in the moment where you need it. I have cheated death so many times.
Listen.
If you knew, and if you knew my history, I am not supposed to be sitting in front of y'all talking to you right now. Like, at all.
No.
And sometimes I can't comprehend how the hell I'm here, because I should have been a statistic. I really should have.
Right.
In every way, shape, or form. So you can't tell me that God isn't real.
Exactly.
But I will say, for me, spirituality is like air almost, because like every day I wake up, I know that's God telling me, like, you on the right path.
Mm-hmm.
You're still on your journey.
Mm-hmm.
Like, express gratitude, because you're here for a reason. My eyes have not closed permanently, so I have purpose. And like, my just being able to connect with that, and I don't know, it's grounding. It helps me stay rooted. It keeps me doing things and engaging in activities that fuel me in a healthy way, spiritually, mentally, in all areas, not just one way. So for me, I just feel like holistically it's good for me. So yeah, I appreciate my connection with God. Or if you say the universe, I know people get really hell bent on the words as well. Like, you say universe, you worship the devil, and the universe is just.
People don't like the word ancestors.
They don't like ancestors. That's demonic. Even though all of us have them. If you're in a family, you have ancestors.
But why when people say it on social media, it's okay? They be like, they be like, what's the one about, like, my people travel, like, when they basically brought us into slavery. Like, my ancestors survived that. Like, how dare I try to let such and such bring me down? I don't know.
I'm not my ancestors. They love to say that.
It's like when you say anything outside of that, it's just, I don't know. Because I think all the time, and I've told Shawana this, I don't know, but I just feel like our ancestors are so happy that we met. They are. Like, I just, I don't know how far back this goes, but I just, I think our ancestors were like, oh my God, I wish they would just hurry up and link up so that they can, like, do what they have to do together. But
they literally be here. I need them to come here.
Like, yeah, like, I just feel like they're so ecstatic that, like, we finally, like, got it together. So I don't know. I'll say this. Believe what you want to believe, like Shawana said. I just think that just be open to the fact that everything is not going to be labeled and it's not going to be in this pretty little bow that you have been told that it's going to be in. I just think you have to be open-minded. You just got to be open-minded.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to ask questions. Like, it's okay to question stuff. I think we're just taught you're not supposed to, and so there's a lot of guilt with that. It's okay to question, and it's okay to, like, try new things. Like, that's part of experience, and I feel like the more you experience, the closer you get to God. And because I used to see it so much with people who used to be, like, really churchy and kind of came out of it, was like, I feel closer to God now in what you would consider a backslidden stage than what I did when I was trying to, like, live by the code. So
that's how I feel. I feel like because I'm less controlled and I've had more control over my spiritual experiences. Like, I feel closer to God as an adult than I ever did when I was younger.
I agree. So that's all I have, Brie. Did you have anything else you want to leave with our peeps today?
That was it.
That was good, though.
That was an interesting episode. Because I don't know how many times I've talked about, my spiritual experiences, past versus present. I don't feel like a lot of people do.
They don't. Because it's, I know for me, I used to be hesitant too, just because a lot of my church family still, follow me, and they watch.
Yeah.
Oh, they watch. They don't say nothing, but they watch. They don't. I know that y'all. Can y'all stop?
That's not funny.
That shit is annoying. Yes, I still believe in Jesus.
I promise promise y'all.
Can you clip this?
I promise y'all she do. If she was on some other shit, I would not be around her. I would not be around her because I'm very aware of people's spirits and bad energy and bad spirits. So I can promise you, if I ever felt an inkling of anything, we would not be sitting beside each other, okay? Because I don't play that. I don't play that. So yeah.
Me and Brent could probably sit here and talk about this all day.
No, for real.
So we're not going to talk our head off, but follow us on social media.
Yes.
Brown Skin Blueprint on everything.
Yes.
The YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe, like, comment. You know, if you see our posts, share them. If you guys have topics that you would like to hear about, hit us in the DMs. Our email is brownskinblueprint@gmail.com. You can always shoot us an email. Yeah, we want to get more engaged and active with you guys. So
please connect with us.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we'll catch y'all next episode.
Bye.